Today, we look into the story of a monument to the man who it honors and about the soldier's prized possession, which went missing for decades until recently.
It is well that war is so terrible, or we should grow too fond of it.
Confederate General Robert E. Lee supposedly uttered the famous quote as he watched waves of Union troops get repeatedly smashed by artillery and rifle fire as they tried and failed to take a hill at the brutal Battle of Fredericksburg, Virginia. Lee may have spoken as Jonathan Taylor made his fateful charge. The 20-year-old Union captain from Bethlehem would have been carrying his sword, the symbol of an officer and a personalized memento from his friends back home, as he led the men of the 129th Pennsylvania in their vain assault on that December day in 1862. The sword would have fallen with him when the rifle ball passed through his lung, making him one of 142 in the unit killed, wounded, or missing in less than an hour. It would have been sent home with his remains after his death 105 days later at a hospital in Washington. That's where the story of Captain Jonathan Taylor ends, in a plot at the Moravian Cemetery, the only officer from Bethlehem to die in the war. Taylor grew up in Kidder Township and attended school at Weaversville Academy, where boys and girls received a classical education. Taylor's family moved to Bethlehem in 1858. By the summer of 1862, President Abraham Lincoln was calling for more men to enlist, and Taylor answered the call. Taylor fought with Company C of the Theach Regiment, Pennsylvania Volunteers. The Union was aiming to get to Richmond, the Confederate capital. The Union Army met the Confederate Army near Fredericksburg, Virginia. Union soldiers such as Taylor were sent to attack a heavily fortified ridge with a stone wall. Taylor was shot in the lung December 13, 1862, and later taken to convalesce in Washington, where he died March 28, 1863. Taylor was buried in God's Acre, the Central Moravian Church Cemetery on West Market Street, between Main and North New Streets, not far from his home, and the Grand Army of the Republic Post planned a monument, cast in zinc, to remember him. It was dedicated October 11, 1887, during a ceremony that included one of the largest parades in the city's history. More than 3,000 Civil War veterans, regional civic societies, 18 brass bands, and then Pennsylvania Governor James A. Beaver attended. As for Captain Taylor's sword, apparently, it ended up in the possession of a collector who finally sold the sword to a historian at Fredericksburg Military Park. That historian happened to be a Bethlehem native who made certain that Captain Taylor's sword would be returned to Bethlehem, where it is displayed for all to see and appreciate.